Today's video is going to be about two super efficient alcohol stoves, the Mahalo and the Topsy-Turvy. My name is Brian and you are watching Survival on Purpose. All right, my name is Brian again. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. As I said, today's video is going to be about two super efficient alcohol stoves that were sent to me by a fellow YouTuber, Mato Nupai, and her claim to fame is that these are super efficient, that they use a lot less fuel to get the job done, which if you're going for ultralight, which is one of the main reasons to use an alcohol stove, then the less fuel you have to carry, the less weight you're carrying, and the less often you have to replenish your fuel. So we're gonna check these out. So I got my little notes right here, and I don't have a lot of notes, but this is the Mahalo stove, and you can see that it's got larger jets. It has 10 jets in it, 1/8 inch, and then this is the Topsy-Turvy, and it has a lot smaller jets, and I think it's useful for maybe this is for larger pots because it's a little bit larger stove. You can see the diameter is a little larger, and the jets there are more jets, so it probably spreads out more. The key is, I think you want to focus the heat on bottom of your container, not up around the sides as much as possible. If the flames run up the sides, then you just don't get as much efficient heating. So without further ado, let me go ahead and set this stuff up and we'll go over the test. We're going to go with 1 cup of water for each test. This test we're going to be using denatured alcohol, and I'm going to try to use the same amount in each stove, and then we'll reclaim it and see how much is left, and hopefully I can do the math and we'll figure out how much each one used. And I'm making a mess already. We're going to put 20, 40, 60, 80. So we'll go with 100. And I'm doing that because last time I did this with my stove I made, I didn't have enough fuel in it and it went out part way through the burn, so that really wasn't fair. I don't even know if these will hold 100 though, so we're going to go with 100 on this one. We'll still be able to measure the difference, so it doesn't matter. And we'll just see how much this one holds to be fair. If you can see that, probably can't. 20. 40. So right away you can see the difference in capacity. Stove that I made, 100 milliliters, 40 and 40 in the stoves that Mato Nupai sent me. So we'll go ahead, and to be fair, this is not scientific at any means, and I don't pretend that it is, but I'm going to go ahead and let these things bloom first, and then we'll set the time. So I will go ahead and let them all bloom, and then we'll put the water on at the same time, as close as we can get it, and we'll just start the timer then. I'm going to turn this light off just so it's a little more dramatic, maybe. You can see it better anyway. Okay, this is the Topsy-Turvy by Mato Nupai. So the time to bloom was 2 minutes, 17 seconds on that. I'm going to go ahead and set this pot on now and push the start on my timer. Okay, so I went ahead, and as I was thinking about this test, I'm trying to be as fair as possible. And I'm doing this video with one camera, and so trying to do the time on all these and get an accurate fuel consumption test, I guess. Decided what we do is go ahead first. I wanted to see how long it would take them to bloom. So we did that. I did a time on the bloom. On the the topsy-turvy was 2 minutes 17 seconds to bloom, and that's gonna, again, it's gonna be dependent on how much fuel you have in there, how big the chamber is, how much of the chamber is full of fuel, and how much space there is for pressurized gas. The Mahalo stove took 57 seconds to bloom, and my wonderful creation took about 4 minutes to bloom. And I've got a leak here also, if you might have seen. So I dumped all the fuel out. I'm gonna start back over, filling back up with fuel. I think in this case, we're going to put, instead of 40, maybe put 30 milliliters and 30 milliliters, and maybe put like 60 in here. So it will hopefully not take as long to bloom, but we've already done the bloom test comparison anyway. And then we'll just go ahead and do that, put the water on, and start the timer. So let me refill these things again. Okay, I have refilled the fuel in these stoves. Got 60 milliliters in the stove I made. I've got 30 milliliters in the topsy-turvy. I'm sorry, this is the Mahalo, and 30 milliliters in the topsy-turvy. I think either one of these will work fine with the bigger pan. I just want to try to compare them. I think this may be a benefit to have a shallower pan because you've got less, I don't know, we'll see. But the, so I'm gonna go ahead and dim the lights again and get this first one lit. As soon as it blooms, we will put the water on and start the timer, and we'll do the same thing with all of them. I'm going to light them all, but as soon as they bloom, we'll start the timer, and then I'll just try to keep up with the difference between them and be as scientific as possible since I'm not a scientist. So stick with me. Here we go. We're just waiting on the bloom. This one was the shortest time before, so I'm expecting it's already starting to bloom now. And we've got less fuel, so you've got a better, larger chamber. This one is too, so it's starting to bloom now. I don't want to waste the gas, so we'll go ahead and start with the one in the middle. If I can do this without, okay, you can see that one burning too. We'll go ahead and start the timer on these two. And tell the difference between the other one. Okay, so we might have an issue there. Put it out. Stop the timer again. Okay, we're gonna let that one bloom a little better. Let me start this one again. Get them all going the same. All right, I didn't let that one get warm enough, I think, before I snuffed it out. Okay, so the topsy-turvy is burning like a champ. We'll go ahead and now we'll start the, I'm gonna let it get fully pressurized, I think, before I start cooking. So once it stops all that fluctuation. So I think we're good now. Let's set that on there and start the timer. Yeah, we got a good flame spread on that one. And this one seems to be going pretty solid now. All right, going good there. Got about 5-second difference in those. You can see mine is still going on the, not bloomed yet. So I'm not looking really good in the competition here. Not that it's really a competition. All right, see I got a little leak here. We talked about that before. Starting to bloom. Come on, baby, you're making me look bad. All right, let's see what we got now. So we got plus 1 minute and 40 seconds on this one before we put it on. Now we're just gonna let them boil. I'm gonna pause this while they're boiling. You're gonna have to trust me on the time. I really have no reason to fake this, but I'm sure you don't wanna watch this thing. Okay, so that's the one I made. That's the Mahalo. And that's the topsy-turvy. Okay, so I'm going to call that a rolling boil for the topsy-turvy at 4 minutes and 51 seconds. The Mahalo is getting closer. And the brine special is probably getting warm. Going to put this one out to we can measure the fuel used. Okay, there's the Mahalo full rolling boil at 6 minutes. And there's the one I made, and we're at 6 minutes 47 seconds, so not too bad. Okay, so performance wise, the topsy-turvy boiled the water the fastest. It was in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's see how much, try to get an idea of how much fuel is used. We started with 30 milliliters, and we're winding up with let's see what we got here. Almost right at 15. Let's see if I can zoom that in where you can see it, because it's really kind of hard to see. They're at 15. So we used 15 milliliters of fuel for the topsy-turvy. All right, second place in the boil time was the Mahalo, and it boiled a cup of water at 6 minutes. And we started again with 30 milliliters of fuel. Let's just see how much we have left. I think we're going to, this seems to be a little more efficient. It's like we got more fuel left, but let's have a look. Get every last drop. And we have about 15 milliliters on this one also. Let's see if I can zoom that in for you. A little more than 15. Maybe about 16. Okay, in last place, but not by too far, 6 minutes and 47 seconds was the Brian Stevens original here. And we started with 60 milliliters of fuel for this test, and let's just see what we have left here now. And it looks like we're about at 40 and maybe 41 milliliters, somewhere in that neighborhood. The angle of the camera makes it look like it's a little more, but so I just want to be fair. It's about 40. Okay, well there you have it. My not so scientific comparison of 3 stoves. The one I made, the Mahalo, backwards. The Mahalo and the topsy-turvy. Again, it's not scientific. We're using denatured alcohol. You can see that the topsy-turvy boiled a cup of water in 4 minutes 40 seconds using 15 milliliters of fuel. The Mahalo boiled a cup of water in 6 minutes using 15 milliliters of fuel. And the stove I made boiled a cup of water in 6 minutes 47 seconds and used between around 19 milliliters of fuel. So again, this being a shallower pan may have affected a little bit. So again, it's not scientific. I just wanted to give you kind of a different take on this, different pans. This one actually showed that you can use a big pan or a little pan and a little cup. But either way, they're pretty efficient. There's only 1 minute and 20 seconds between them. They both boiled water faster than my homemade one, and they both used a little less fuel. About almost 25% less fuel. So, that doesn't seem like a lot, but over a course of a backpack in a week or two, can make a significant difference. It might mean you don't run out of fuel is what it might mean. So, okay, well, once again, this was a little quick review of maybe a semi-scientific comparison test between a couple of stoves sent to me by Mato Nupai. This is the Mahalo stove, and this is the topsy-turvy. They both outperformed my homemade one, and they both used less fuel. Not only are the stoves very small and efficient, but they weigh almost nothing, very well constructed. And I'll put a link to their eBay store below. Or you should check it out if you're looking for a really lightweight, good backpacking stove that's super efficient. And I hope this has been helpful. Okay, as always, I appreciate you watching my videos. Thanks for subscribing to the Survival on Purpose channel. Give it the thumbs up below if you like it and you think your friends will like it, tell them about it. Also, I want to remind you, I've started recently an Amazon store, so I really appreciate your support. My name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time.